We are in the Lions' Den on ClutchSportsIL.com tonight, and a great non-conference battle is in store. The Limestone Rockets of the Mid-Illini Conference, 1-4 on the season, have traveled into Peoria to take on the Big 12 Conference's Peoria Lions, looking to go above 500 as they enter this one 3-3 on the 21-22 campaign. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Peoria. I'm Joey Wright along with Cody Roskins. Cody, two teams with a lot of talent, a lot of potential, a lot of ability to get the job done. This game, the 7th of the season for Peoria, the 6th of the year for Limestone, is going to show us a lot about where these two teams stand, kind of getting into the middle portion of the season.
Absolutely, Joey. We were talking about before we came on the air on the Limestone end of things. Nobody really expected much out of this squad to start the season, but after a win against Washington and a close loss against Metamora, it's got people looking at the Limestone Rockets in a slightly different light. And for Peoria, they're coming out, like you said, Joey, trying to fight above 500 on the season and get elusive win number 4. And one of these teams is going to have to walk out here with a tough result.
We'll see who comes out on top. The Lions, coached by Daniel Ruffin Jr. in his second season after taking over for his father, who had a lot of success at the helm of this Lions squad. They come in, as we said, 3-3, wins against Plano, Urbana, and Peoria Richwoods, losses against Bolingbrook, Springfield Southeast, and Peoria Notre Dame. You mentioned, Cody, Limestone's close loss against Metamora. 2 of Peoria's 3 losses, Bolingbrook and Springfield Southeast, decided by a cumulative total of 5 points. 1 point against Bolingbrook, a 73-72 decision. Lost to Southeast 70-66. But in those 2 close losses, they put up a lot of points and hung around. It's a Lions team that just won't quit no matter how backed into the corner they seem to be.
Yeah, Joey, and everybody knows defense is what more often than not will win you games, but a high-scoring offense will go a long way as well. And as long as you're able to put up points, you can get into those shootouts and hang around and try and steal one at the end.
For the Limestone Rockets, put up 60 points in that win against Washington, a stingy Washington defense, and that win in Mid-Illini Conference play really kind of sent shockwaves around the area, maybe indicating that this Limestone team won to watch in an always crowded MIC this season. The 4 losses, Moline, Galesburg, Madison, and the aforementioned Metamora loss, 49-44 a few days ago. But this Limestone team, Cody, you look up and down the roster, they've got guys that we've been calling for a few seasons now. Specifically, the senior Frank Driscoll stands at 6'1", 220 pounds, kind of a guy that can do it from the 3 spot and the 4 spot on the floor.
Yeah, Joey, and experience, just touching on the broader point here, is always a great thing to be bringing into a high school environment, just because you know that everyone's kind of been there, seen that, and it really just helps take the pressure off down the stretch. And as far as their individual players, again, neither team is gigantic by any means, but a lot of that experience will go in. It's not necessarily how big you play, it's how you play while you are undersized.
Two teams that kind of find a way to get the job done however they need to. Not a ton of size on either squad, but where they do have size, they use it, and where they don't, they are crafty. Coming up on the national anthem and lineups in Peoria, glad you're with us from Peoria High School tonight on ClutchSportsIL.com. I'm Joey Wright with Cody Roskins. The rest of our crew, Gavin Russell and Francisco Alonso, with us this evening. We will pause for the national anthem here and come back with the starting lineups. I do want to mention, though, on the lineups before we get there, it's a little bit contrasting. Peoria, a much older team. Limestone's got some youth that they're going to play tonight and this season. We'll talk about that after the national anthem here at Peoria High School. great rendition of the Star Spangled Banner by the Peoria High School Pep Band. We'll hear a lot of them tonight, and we'll hear the names of these 10 players a lot as well as we get set for our starting lineups. The Limestone Rockets, the visitors tonight in the gray and blue uniforms on your screen. We'll start with them in order. Jacob Barrowman kicks things off in the guard spot. He's a sophomore.
Number 11,
Cooper Wable. Next up to be introduced, the junior guard. And then we get to the middle of the lineup for Limestone, a junior in Clayton Bell and a freshman in Bryce Chapman at the 3 and 4 spots. Keeping an eye on those guys all evening long. Chapman, the lone freshman in the lineup on a young Limestone team, but a team that's got a key senior in Frank Driscoll. Driscoll's the only senior in the lineup for the Rockets tonight, one of only 2 seniors on the roster along with Tyshawn Tucker. He rounds things out, a force in the low post, a name we're going to be calling all night long, and the Rockets coached by Tony Thomason.
Starters tonight, number 2,
Peoria Lions being introduced. Lerone Allen Jr. kicks things off for Peoria. He's a senior guard, as is Eddie Clark. Eddie Clark, number 3, a number you saw running all over Peoria Stadium on the gridiron this season. Mike Weiss-Taylor, a 6-foot junior guard, joined by another 6-foot guard, this time a senior in Shaun Kelley. And Deshaun Wells, a 6'5 senior forward for the Lions, rounds out the lineup. Lions coached by Daniel Ruffin Jr., son of longtime Lions head coach Dan Ruffin, and a Bradley Brave in his playing days. Cody, who are you keeping your eye on tonight?
Well, Joey, it kind of goes a number of places. You mentioned Driscoll for Limestone, of course, Clark on the other side for Peoria, and so I think it's going to be an interesting contrast, right? Obviously, again, we said neither team has a ton of size, so the guards are going to have to play well down low and rebound the ball. And I think if you could give on either side an edge on that, I would say you'd probably have to give the quickness edge to Peoria and maybe the strength and brawn edge maybe to Limestone.
Peoria wins the tip. Our officials tonight, Gene Rayford, Gavin Welker, and Don King. As we get underway, Lions have the first opportunity on offense, and it's Allen kicking to the top, and Taylor goes back to Lerone Allen Jr. Here's Eddie Clark. Goes over to Lerone Allen Jr. Around these parts, they call him Bo. He's off on the 3. Rebound corralled by Eddie Clark, and Clark will bring it out. Lions extend their first possession with the offensive rebound. Shaun Kelley goes to Clark. Clark, a free throw doesn't fall. Rebound brought in by Limestone and Dekwon Brown. And Brown brings it in. Brown dribbles back down, goes over and finds Bell. And Bell tries to drive. He's rebuffed by Shaun Kelley. Kick to the corner, 3 on the way from Barrowman, no dice. Tipped around, Driscoll hauls in the loose ball. Shaun Kelley made him work for it. Brown brings it ahead, and the Rockets slow it down. Early on, Cody, looks like Peoria is trying to control the tempo.
Yeah, and again, we said they have the speed and elusive, I guess, edge in this one, and so you'd like to see them play that out.
3 on the way off the mark from Driscoll. Clark hauls in the rebound and brings it ahead. Running quickly is Clark, kick back. Nearly taking the 3 was Taylor. Instead, he drives, no. Second chance, yes, and we've got our first points of the night. Peoria finding the board, and Mike Weiss-Taylor. Want to point out quick, Cody, Dekwon Brown not listed in the starting lineup for the Rockets. He is in for Bryce Chapman. As we've got our first foul of the game away from the ball. It's an offensive foul against the Rockets.
Yeah, and just a moving screen that time. Can't get caught shifting your shoulders or shifting your feet there. And so an unfortunate break, but one the officials got a call.
See if it sets the Rockets back. If you're just joining us, 2 minutes into the first quarter here, we've only seen one basket. That was from Peoria's Mike Weiss-Taylor just 1 moment ago. Here's Wells for Peoria. Now it's Kelley. Kelley kicking up to Allen, and a foul. Another offensive foul away from the ball. Bites both teams in back-to-back possessions, and the Rockets will take over under the Lions basket.
Yeah, and that'll be a charge, Joey. So, again, offensive player leaving his feet outside the paint. Can't go up like that, especially if you're leaping forward before you make contact with the defender. That's almost too easy of a call.
They will make that call every time. Again, our officials this evening, Gene Rayford, Gavin Welker, and Don King. Good crew. They'll call a good game all night long. Here's Brown. Brown gives, gets it back. Allen contests, and Allen fouls. Or rather, that was Clark picking up the foul. Second of the game for the Lions. And the Rockets have a chance to inbound right in front of the Lions bench. Get it in here. Here's Brown. Brown has controlled the ball a lot for Limestone this evening. Kick down to Driscoll. Driscoll backed into the corner, guarded by Wells. Feed down low, spinning, not scoring is Bell. Clayton Bell couldn't find the twine. Allen quickly up the other sideline. And a foul down low, looked like a blocking foul. Pass would have gone to Wells for an open three. Not all that bad of a foul.
That's 2 already on Barrowman, so now he's going to have to grab some seat for what will probably be, not if the whole first half, but pretty darn close.
And he's a tough guy to lose, although looking at the game maybe in a vacuum, that foul probably prevents an open three from Wells. But Brown, a tough guy to lose, has both of the Rockets' fouls.
Yeah, and in this 2-3, Joey, when they get the ball to the wing here, that one more pass to the corner is something that you can't give up, and it's something they've given up a couple times.
Had an open man in the quarter. Nehemiah Mason was open for Peoria. They couldn't find him. Limestone the rebound. Here's Brown, a three. Off the back iron, still loose. Driscoll gives chase with Kelley out of bounds. Last touched by Brown. So Shaun Kelley wins that battle for Peoria. Or I should say doesn't lose the battle, as it was last touched off of Limestone. So the Lions take over again. Here's Allen. Lerone Allen Jr. thus far, no points tonight, but he's been in on every play. Mason gives to Kelley, he's fouled. And Shaun Kelley will go to the line. First shooting foul we've seen tonight, and thus the first free throws. Just south of 4 minutes gone by.
Yeah, for as fast as they're getting up and down in this one, Joe, you'd like to see them take care of the ball a little bit more and hunt out the quality of shots. Both teams we know are athletic enough to get up and down, but you got to try and build up your offense first before you get into that rhythm.
For as many possessions as we've seen tonight, just 2 points as Kelley can't knock down the first free throw. Kelley, a senior guard on Daniel Ruffin's Peoria Lions squad. Rockets defense doing a good job of forcing mistakes from the Lions offense, although the Lions have had a couple of shots they'd like to have back. Dekwon Brown brings it ahead for Limestone. Was looking for Cooper Weibel, couldn't find him. Weibel's pass back to the corner to Brown, last touched by Allen, or rather Clark that would be. Clark knocking that out of bounds.
Yeah, and again, you're playing into Peoria's hands with this.
Off the glass, rebound brought in by Deshaun Wells. Kelley tries to push ahead, and Brown is there to cut him off. Brown knocks it out of bounds. Kelley will restart the possession to Bo Allen.
Again, though, Joe, you can't give up a high post touch to the corner or wing here if you're Limestone. You got to try and find a way to force that ball out of the high post if it gets there.
Allen kicking to the corner. They do get it to the corner. Mason's three off the mark, tapped up. If Clark had, or rather Allen had taken a little bit off of that, that might have found the basket. Instead, Allen watches as Brown gets past him. Brown, nice pass to Driscoll, doesn't have it. Out of bounds. Last touch by Peoria. So Bell will inbound. And we will have what appears to be our masked timeout. 3:36 left in the first quarter. So Cody, your takeaways from an opening 4.5 minutes, let's call it, that only yielded 3 points. For as many possessions as we've seen, it's turning into a defensive battle.
Yeah, I wouldn't even call it a defensive battle, Joe. It's just been kind of ugly offensively. A lot of rush shots, not necessarily greatest passing. But on the Peoria side of things, they've done a really good job of cracking the 2-3 zone. They've gotten the ball into the high post. They had a great skip pass to the corner off a lovely looking hook. But again, couldn't knock it down. Another trip down the floor. They get it to the wing. They get another fake pass to the corner, able to get into the paint. And Clark for a pull-up jumper, but again, off the mark. So for them, it's just not necessarily slowing down, but play with pace, but don't hurry. if that makes any sense. Your actions have to be quick, your thoughts have to be a little quicker. And so far, I think they're just kind of doing one before the other.
You've got the stats for us tonight. Anything jumping off the page at you early on?
The 2 fouls for Borman, that's 1 for Limestone, but on the other end, again, just the 3 points scored. So far, Driscoll's 0 of 2 from the field. Both teams just not doing a great job of getting high-quality looks.
See if that changes out of our first break in the action. It's for our mask timeout. Mask timeouts implemented last season in IHSA play, both the girls and boys side, of course. Masks required for play, so about halfway through every quarter, you take a quick breather, adjust the mask, get a drink of water, and get back to it. I'm sure the coaches like having a little extra instructional time to get things going. Limestone can't find the basket there. Here's Allen getting out ahead of everybody and laying it in, and Lerone Allen Jr. is on the board tonight. 2 points for number 2. Brown scanning for Limestone. Dekwon Brown, sophomore standout. His pass over to Weibel, incomplete, if you will, to borrow from the gridiron, and Frank Driscoll will inbound. Daniel Ruffin exchanges a quick word with our referee. And Brown starts things out. Brown to Weibel. Goes over, it's Brendan Deacon. He loses it. Who touched it last? Deacon did, and Limestone will hold on.
And again, though, Joey, Limestone just getting stuck in no man's land just above the short corner and the free throw line extended. They've got to find a way to punch a gap, and if not run people off ball screens, they got to find a way to get 2 feet into the paint.
Peoria has pitched a shutout thus far. Limestone looking to change the narrative.
Good take right here.
No, but he can't keep his dribble, has to lose it. And Peoria takes over. It was a promising start. See what Peoria can do on the offensive end to respond. Here's Kelley, and Kelley called for the travel at the top of the key.
Yeah, but again, though, Joey, going back to that last possession, they had a great drive into the paint, but instead he just hesitates, doesn't go off 2 and score. So he just has to bring the ball up, and again, down in the paint like that, that's just a recipe to get swarmed.
It was a good take, as you called out, although now it gets a little harder for Limestone as Peoria brings in Eli Love, the 6'5 junior, number 33 in white. See him now at the free throw line guarding Driscoll. Comes out, gets back. Driscoll left open. Picks his dribble up, gets to Brown for 3. Limestone still can't break the seal, rather, if I could talk. It's number 3 on the rebound for Peoria. And they go over, swinging around. Here's Mason. Mason steps back. Now up top, Allen. Back to Mason. They're playing catch.
This is really good ball movement here, Joey.
And it will end with a basket. Shaun Kelley.
And again, that time, it's nothing special. They're just shifting the zone around, much like you would in any other sport, especially soccer or even zone defensive football. You get them, shift them one way, and you hit them back the other.
Peoria doing a good job of finishing its possessions in the early going with open shots. Limestone has 80 seconds left in this quarter to find the scoreboard. They'll do it here. Clayton Bell turns around and drops it down, and just like that, Limestone has its first points of the night. And finding themselves only down 5, we'll see if they can put some stops together on the defensive side of the ball. 1 minute left, opening frame. Allen's going to take it himself, does not get the roll. Driscoll there to start a new possession. Driscoll down low. Bringing it back, Deacon. He's going to slow it down a little bit here. See if Limestone is going to try and hold a whistle. And that'll be a timeout, Limestone, I believe. Or was that that'll be a foul followed by a timeout, if I had that right. And it will be a Limestone foul away from the ball. So a costly foul and a good timeout to follow from Tony Thomason. Cody, Limestone didn't have a ton of urgency there running that possession. Tough to tell if they would have held for the last 40 seconds, but now on the foul, they don't get a chance to hold it at all.
Yeah, and I'm not sure it's the foul because the referee had signaled to the scores table that it may have just been him camped for 3 in the key or what, but they haven't given anybody a foul on the scoreboard yet, so I'm assuming it was just a 3 in the key violation.
And that could well be the case. You're right. Nobody assessed the foul. Brown will come out for Limestone. No, he'll come back in. He will not come out. Pardon me, I had
all over the place
misidentified him there, but in any case, and Limestone will hold on to the ball here, so that will go against Peoria. Pardon me, all off on that last play, but we'll move on. And now, Cody, to bring that back, they do get the chance to hold here. Will they for 30 seconds?
I would guess probably not, Joey. They want to try and... Well, sorry, I just had my eyes on the action there. Great over-the-head pass, but I would guess they're trying to steal one more with the pace Peoria is going. You could essentially get them to do a 2-for-1 here, just by the way they've been getting up and down. Maybe force a miss, get it and go with about 10 seconds.
See if they can force a quick turnover. Driscoll at the charity stripe for Limestone. Looking for his first points of the evening. He's got his first one there on the free throw, and it's a 4-point game.
Yeah, and that's the second foul on Clark, and so now he's going to have to sit.
Driscoll's second free throw, short, loose, and out of bounds, last touched by Limestone. Either Leibel or Deacon in on that. And so the Lions, with 20 seconds left, will put it in the hands of Lerone Allen Jr. He'll push it ahead. His pass intercepted. Could be that 2-for-1. Limestone in a little bit of trouble here. 10 seconds left. Up top, it's Brown. 5 seconds left for Dekwon Brown. Pulls up a 3 that will fall short. Rebound, Limestone, loose ball. Peoria takes over, but not before the first quarter draws to a close, with the Lions ahead 7-3. An interesting first quarter. Cody, break it down.
Yeah, I mean, both teams playing with a really frenetic pace, getting up and down. Turnover ridden so far. Limestone really hasn't found an option really on the offensive side of the ball other than to get to the free throw line. And so if that's how it's going to be, that's how it's going to be for their offense today, and try and put some more players in foul trouble. We saw Clark get charged with 2 and Barrowman charged with 2 so far for Limestone. But on the other end, Lions have had really good ball movement, but for whatever reason, they just haven't had the shots to fall yet.
See if they can get it turned around here in the second quarter. If you're just joining us, fresh into the ball game, it's been a good one. Both teams with a couple of turnovers, couple of mistakes, and good defense on both sides. Too, the offense is heating up in the last couple of minutes, and it stands at a low-scoring 4-point game entering the second quarter. To recap how we got here, Limestone entering this one 1-4 on the season. It's 6th game of the year. That one win, a win over Washington the other day, 60-53. Big win for the Rockets. They'd like to find a few more moving into the middle portion of the season. Peoria, meanwhile, 3-3. They've beaten Plano, Urbana, and Richwoods in a non-conference contest that was played on Friday. A decisive win for the Lions in that one. Losses to Bolingbrook Southeast and Peoria Notre Dame. Lions looking for win number 4. Rockets looking for win number 2. Lions out of the Big 12 Conference, and the Rockets out of the Mid-Illini Conference. Here's Bell. Bell going over, crossing to Brown. Brown moves over, kick to the corner. 3 on the way is off from Deacon, the junior. Still loose. Number 11 gets the rebound from number 11, and a feed down low and a score for Mike Weiss-Taylor. Brown in trouble, top of the key. Feed to Bell, who feeds to Driscoll. Deacon gets it down in the corner. His pass up top to Brown. Nearly picked by Taylor. Deacon will look to punctuate it all with a 3. Can't do it, and the rebound snagged by Kelley. Taylor on the other end. Doesn't have his second basket in a row. It's going to go out of bounds off of Eli Love. A lot of action there, not a lot of scoring, aside from Taylor's conversion.
Yeah, and again, though, it's just Limestone having trouble getting to their spots. They've either only had corner 3s and they've only had the 1 hook shot made from the field. So they've got to try and find a way to get into that paint.
See if they can do that here. He must have heard you, Cody. Deacon tried to get down there, didn't get it off the glass.
I'm only spitting facts, Joey.
3 on the way from Peoria. Falls, and the Lions go opposite of what you said, but it's working for them. It's Deandrick Pollard for 3.
And again, he was also kind of a monster for him on the gridiron, Joey. I remember calling the P&D game with Gavin, and he had a couple of really big plays down the stretch in that one and getting called upon here.
Lions, one of the best football programs in the area, especially in the Big 12 Conference. 3 falls from Shaun Kelley. Kelley knocks it through.
And he leads all scorers.
He does. With 6 points, 2/5 of Peoria's output in the Lions. Watch as Limestone calls a timeout. And I mentioned a moment ago that Kelley, or was it Pollard, who hit that first 3 in that sequence, did the opposite of what you said for Limestone, that is. But you've been saying, too, if the Lions can keep finding that extra pass, find that open man, it's going to work, and it works twice in a row there.
Layups. Everyone says, Joey, that analytics are kind of overtaking the game of basketball. Well, it's not so much still in high school, but it's making its way down there. The highest percentage looks in high school basketball, and pretty much at any level, is a layup, dunk, or if you get a one more pass to the corner or wing, it's almost always going in. It's just ridiculous at the rate that high schoolers now are making that shot. And when you can get them in stride, especially with a good coach like Daniel Ruffin Jr. on your bench, but you know the coaching is going to come out, and the prep will eventually start to pay off. It didn't pay off in that first quarter, but they've already doubled their scoring here into the second.
Talking about Daniel Ruffin Jr. as you see the Rockets break huddle. Daniel Ruffin Jr., a guy that, he's a Peoria guy, coached the Bradley Braves alumni team in the TBT this summer. As we work to get our video back here, we'll go radio style for just a moment. Limestone 3 in the corner, short from Jacob Barrowman. Lions get the rebound, quickly go to the other side and stay. Shaun Kelley can't finish the dunk. Offensive rebound, loose. Eli Love, top of the free throw line, no dice. But the Lions finish down low for 2. And that's Eli Love. So here's Limestone bringing it across the timeline. Dekwon Brown's going to try to take it himself. High-low, he lays it in off the glass. Working to get our video restored. Might have a loose adapter or something with our capture card wrong here. Looks like it flickered back there, and we will bring you back. There we go. Good job, Gavin, our producer. Francisco Alonso helping him out.
No Armageddon button yet.
Well, we did actually throw the slide up that says audio only. That's the first time I think this year we've had to use it.
We love a good Armageddon button.
That's why we throw it in there, right?
You put it in the playbook because you think you might use it.
That's right. Better to be prepared than not. Boy, I was not quite ready to turn it into radio style there, though. I tell you, it starts moving real quick when you go that way. Limestone.
And that's going to be 2 on Taylor.
Yep, watches as Taylor comes in and picks up the foul. Foul situation you see on the bottom of your screen, 5-3, favoring, well, you could say favoring Limestone because Peoria maybe a little more trouble with 5 fouls. No one in real trouble, though, except Clark and Barrowman, who have 3 each, or 2 each, rather. For
now Allen.
Allen, yeah.
So,
right on cue.
Just to give you a quick recap, Joey, out of the 6 team fouls, they're only charged to 3 players, Allen Jr., Clark, and Taylor.
Maybe good for the rest of the team, but not those guys. Here's Brown. Brown was looking up top, or rather it's Clark in transition, and Clark gets it to go. So Eddie Clark finds the twine, lays it in. Brown was looking to the top of the key for Jacob Barrowman. Couldn't connect with him. Clark forced the steal and took it himself. Gets another interception. Talk about how good he is on the gridiron. Was looking for Deshaun Wells, and Wells is fouled and will go to the line. That'll be Clayton Bell's first foul, team's 4th. On field at Peoria Stadium, just so quick. A running back for the Lions, had a tremendous season. Probably the biggest spark plug in that offense. Gotta say that with maybe a grain of salt. It was an offense that could turn it up and down seemingly on a whim, and it was usually up. But Clark was a big part of that, I should say. Unforced error there, though, as the Lions were looking for Wells, and it's incomplete.
This is kind of do or die time now for the Rockets, Joey. And you'd hate to say that with 4:22 to go here in the first half, but they've only amounted 5.
Brown fouled as he tried to split through traffic.
I think Coach Ruffin's going to pray that's not on none other than Eddie Clark, and it will be.
Clark's third, and he will be forced to return to the bench. Clark has started a lot of offense today, but he's also picked up 3 fouls. He's sparked a lot on defense, too. You mentioned a moment ago, matched his number with 3 steals. Free throw, no dice in the 1-and-1. Allen down low, draws the foul and finishes. Lerone Allen Jr. 4 points for him tonight, has a chance to make it 5. And Peoria off and running in the early stages.
Correction foul on number 3, Jacob Barrowman.
Did they say that was on Barrowman?
They did. They will call that on Barrowman, his 3rd foul. And much like...
Sounds so surprised about that, but the referee had initially...
A lot tonight. Both Barrowman and Clark with 3 fouls. Clark also has 3 steals for Peoria. Limestone needing some offense here.
And the ball's sticking too much here, Joey, for my liking. They got to get the ball moving.
Well, they move it down into the twine. A big 3 from Dekwon Brown. And Brown's 3 perhaps will get Limestone going. They've got to respond on defense, and it's Brown who comes up with a timely steal. Now Brown slows it down, guarded by Allen. Steps back for 3, that's short. Nearly got wedged between the glass and the rim, and Kelley gets out and runs. Kelley down low and 1.
And there's Dykens' first foul.
Couple of old-fashioned 3s for Kelley. Has a chance. His tallest player on the floor right now for Peoria.
Sprinted out well ahead of the rebound and just kind of camped right inside the paint until he finally had the ball up to him.
2 points just the same. Nice job on the part of Kelley to find him. Masked timeout, or maybe a called timeout, but in any case, Peoria continues to open this one up, Cody. An 18-point lead, and the Lions are doing everything right now.
Yeah, the Lions have really picked it up since that sluggish first quarter. They've almost put 20 on the board in just this quarter alone, while the Rockets are still just trying to sputter along with no ignition switch. And as you go up and down the stat sheet, there's not really one causality because of it. I mean, they've had the double-digit turnovers. Brown already for himself, just from the field, is 1 of 5 from 3 Limestone, and they're hunting out good shots. The intent is there, but it's not coming after 1 or 2 passes. It's just 1 dribble up, 1 pass, and then they're going off. And then on the off chance that they do get shots off from 2-point range, that's when the ball is going in after multiple attempts.
Out of the break, 26-8, Peoria. Good analysis there, Cody. The junior forward has been so key for the Lions in transition tonight.
Look at that, he's getting doubled on the wing. You got to skip it.
Almost all Peoria in the Lions' den tonight. 3 from Brown, doesn't fall. Love the rebound. And Peoria can build on its advantage. Here's Pollard. Pollard to Mason. Mason shaded by Weibel. Brings it back. Here's Pollard. Pollard goes over. The Lions in no hurry. Daquan Little goes back to Pollard. And Pollard, as you can see, now he'll go back to Little, but Little, as soon as I say it, goes back to Pollard, and no dribbles yet. Now Pollard gets things going a little bit, and this could well be the final possession of the first half here at Peoria High School tonight. Lions have the ball, holding it, now goes back to Pollard. Pollard with 10 seconds left, and the Lions will call timeout. So that goes exactly according to Daniel Ruffin's plan. Lions take a quick 30-second timeout. Cody, what are they drawing up?
I think it's going to be a quick hitter here with one of 2 options. They get the ball to the high post with the option to drive and kick, or they're going to try and hit something along the baseline. Or again, they could either score the ball or try and hit the the underneath pass to the corner. I'd look for either of those 2 options, but both of them high percentage looks. One thing I don't think you're going to see is just hold the ball, step back 3. If so, I'd be a little surprised by that look, just because it doesn't give you the opportunity for offensive rebound and putback.
We'll kick it audio only here for this final shot. Looks like our internet continuing to give us a few problems here, so we'll bring you the action just audio for the final 8 seconds of the first half. Gets to Pollard. Pollard top of the key. Pollard's going to drive. Pollard kick to the corner. 3 on the way from Little. Doesn't fall. 1 second left. Driscoll the rebound. Throws up a half-court prayer, and it falls short. And that's how the first half will end at Peoria High School, with the Lions riding high on a home court advantage, 30-10. 10 minutes on the clock for halftime, and the Lions up by 20 points.
Yeah, Joey, just as a quick, I guess, gander up and down the stat sheet, it's a very balanced scoring effort from Peoria. They got a number of players nearing double-digit scoring. Kelley leads the way with 8. Foul trouble's kind of a little bit of the story in the first half for the Lions. That's really the only thing you can critique after that sluggish first half. They have Allen Jr., Clark, and Taylor combining for 7 of their fouls, which is coincidentally all 7 of their fouls. And this time for Limestone, the ball's just got to be moving a little bit better. Brown's 1 of 6 from 3, hasn't really tallied up many assists, and their defense is getting picked apart in the fast break as a result.
We'll see if the Rockets can get things cleaned up here in the halftime locker room. See if we can knock down our technical difficulties here. Our picture pretty laggy. Again, running into a little bit of an internet hiccup, if you will. Hope the audio still sounds good, but we'll see if we can get that addressed. Apologize for that, but could be in store for some fireworks in the second half if Limestone can make the proper adjustments, but it's been all Peoria so far. A 30-10 lead over Limestone. We'll take a quick break for halftime, come back for the second half. For Cody Roskins, Gavin Russell, and Paco Alonso, I'm Joey Wright. Stick with us, second half coming up. Welcome back to Peoria High School. We're at the Lions' Den. Working through a couple technical difficulties, folks, as the third quarter is just underway. Joey Wright and Cody Roskins in with you. Down low and off the glass for the first points of the second half. Mike Weiss-Taylor for Peoria goes high-low himself. Essentially, folks, what we're running into right now, a bit of an internet problem. Problems with the network at Peoria High School. It was running fine until about 2 minutes or so left in the first half, and then the network has been very finicky since. Won't let us connect, won't let us hop back on. We are on our backup network system right now, but signal strength inside the gym, a little spotty, so our backup option having a tough time working in its own right because cell service tough to reach the gym here at Peoria High School. Nobody's fault. Apologize for the problems. We'll kick it with you audio only here for the foreseeable future. Just because our picture right now would be laggy to the point where it would be pretty distracting to watch. So we'll hang out with you. We'll call the game. We'll get through it. Appreciate you spending your Tuesday night with us on ClutchSportsIL.com. And as we talk through that, both teams trade a possession. Limestone goes down low, and off the glass is Jacob Barrowman. Barrowman forced the steal right wing and took it all the way back across the corner right to left himself for the basket. And it is an 18-point game in Peoria. Lions get it back. Here's Bo Allen. And Allen across the timeline and draws a foul. It's the third foul, the second foul here of the third quarter. So Barrowman allows Eddie Clark to inbound. Clark's inbound, kicked around. Here's Clark. Clark goes over. Here's Weibel. Or rather, not Weibel. I had the wrong team. That's Kelley. Kelley down low, gets the alley-oop. Went back up to Clark up top. And Eddie Clark, after getting the nice pass from Kelley, found Kelley cutting in towards the basket. And the alley-oop falls through. And on the opposite end, on offense, an offensive foul called. This time on Brendan Deacon. The Limestone Rockets a little bit out of sorts here. And that'll be his third, Cody Roskins.
Yeah, and just going back a couple of sequences there, they had the backdoor cut to the alley-oop, a beautiful-looking pass on the offensive end. You just can't let your emotions get the best of you. The forearm to the chest, pretty easy call.
Goes against the Rockets here. Lions have the ball in hand. Top of the key, way up top of the key at the logo stands Allen. Allen goes over to Kelley on the wing. They swing it around. Goes back to Allen, swinging along the perimeter, now playing catch with Shaun Kelley. Kelley goes down to the corner, and after a couple of steps in, ball's lost by Peoria. Taylor couldn't hold on. Rockets quickly fire it up the sideline and up the near sideline. Dropping in a three is Cooper Weibel. And Cooper Weibel's three falls through. 34-17. Still have the score on the bottom of our screen. Kelley in transition for Peoria. Takes it himself down low, splits the lane. Puts the Lions back ahead by 19. Rockets get out and run. Go ahead.
Yeah, and he's still perfect from the field to this one, Joey.
He has not missed. Limestone, top of the key, in trouble is Barrowman. Barrowman guarded by Allen, and a foul called on Barrowman. And so that'll allow the Lions to get the ball back. An offensive foul. Barrowman on the wing, got the elbow out, little hand check. Officials not hesitant to call that one, and the Lions take it back over. Lions starting this possession on the wing. It's Kelley, right wing nearest us. Kelley gets it back now on the wing. Plays catch top of the key with Allen. Allen swings left side at the top of the wing. There is Clark. High-low pass intended for Taylor. Intercepted by Limestone. They'll facilitate it to Dekwon Brown, who now crosses the timeline. And Brown to the wing. Near side wing, goes over, far side corner. Barrowman has it in hand. He gets loose. He feeds back down low. Nice assist, nice score. Clayton Bell finds the twine for Limestone, and a timeout called. What a score there for Limestone as Barrowman was able to get it in the corner. Found a streaking Bell, cut the middle of the paint and scored. Timeout takes the place of our masked timeout. 36-19 Peoria. Limestone out of the gates here in the second half, Cody. They've found a little something. The offense looks like it's moving better.
Yeah, I mean, they're shifting the ball around. It's not just sticking in Brown's hands and just having him jack up a shot after a couple of dribbles and a pass, but now it seems like they're starting to hunt and probe the passing lanes a little more on defense. They're even going to come out in a little full court pressure in the 2-2-1 it looks like, and try and force a half-court trap.
We appreciate our viewers turning into listeners tonight. Again, if you're just joining us, bit of a network issue at Peoria High School. Network at the school has flickered out on us here in the second half, and our backup option not receiving enough signal in the gym to be a viable option to stream video. We're with you for audio-only coverage right now and perhaps through the end of the game. If we were to bring you the video right now, it would just be really choppy and, frankly, a little bit distracting. Lions have the ball offensive end here. At the wing, it's Clark. Clark goes over, splits it to Pollard. Pollard opposite wing. Goes down further, near side corner, and Nehemiah Mason. Mason takes it up to the wing, 2 steps in, goes back to Pollard, top of the key. Now to the far side wing to Clark, and Clark's pass down low to Love, intercepted by Limestone. Brown comes away with it. Brown shades over, he's guarded by Love. Brown spins, right wing.
Still sticking too much, Joey.
Right wing about 2 steps back from the 3-point line. Tried to go over near side wing, and that pass was intended for Barrowman. He couldn't hold on. Barrowman tips it out of bounds, and Limestone will call a timeout. A full timeout taken by the Rockets here, or rather will be our mask timeout under the 4-minute mark in the third quarter.
Joey, again, right there is a perfect example of Limestone just overthinking the possession. They get the ball into Brown's hand, which is a great option for them. He's one of their more talented scorers. But instead, all he does is dribble it off to the top of the key, off to the right-hand side on the wing, and then just rockets a skip pass too high for the intended target. You got to try and get some ball movement, get some motion cuts, see if you can't backdoor even. They got to do something to get the ball popping.
Thus far, they've not been able to do that with any great efficiency. 36-19 is our score. Audio-only coverage on ClutchSportsIL.com continuing. 3 minutes, 14 seconds left, third quarter, as you see on the bottom of your screen. If you're new to the broadcast, bit of a network problem here at Peoria High School. Keep peppering that in as we move along. Our video now very choppy because of that. We don't have the required bandwidth to bring you the crisp, clean video you've become accustomed to on ClutchSportsIL.com. So we're kicking it audio only for now. And perhaps through the end of the game, 36-19. See if Limestone can keep digging into this lead, but it'll be Peoria with the ball out of the timeout. First mass timeout of the second half. Peoria to inbound. Volleyball line in its own territory, now crossing the timeline. On the right wing is Pollard. Pollard goes over left wing, and Shaun Kelley. Kelley puts it on the ground, gets it to the 3-point line. He goes over now, right wing, and Pollard passes up a 3, goes near side corner, and Mason. Mason up to the wing, spins back down to the corner, and the pass now from the corner to the middle of the paint from Taylor to Pollard to Eli Love. Love won too many passes to the bench. Lions tip it out of bounds, and the Rockets will take over in front of the Lions bench. They'll move it right to left. Up the 80 or so feet to the basket now is Brown. Brown crosses over the timeline. Rockets into their enemy's territory. Brown lost it out of bounds, but it was tapped away by Mike Weiss-Taylor, so Brown will inbound from the Lions Den signage on the hardwood here on the left wing. And inbounds to Bell. Bell goes over to Brown, top of the key. His pass to the right wing, a 3 on the way from Weibel. No, Weibel follows a shot on the wing, can't get his own rebound. Lions out in transition, running and scoring. Taking it all away, Nehemiah Mason in transition. Easy 2 off the glass for Mason, who got out in front of everyone. Now it's Brown for Limestone, feeding down low. No on the first shot from Weibel. Weibel can't get his putback, and the Lions back quickly on offense. On the wing, left wing, it's Pollard. Now right wing, it's Kelley. Kelley is guarded by Barrowman, and he brings it back deep where the timeline and the sideline converge. Now sets it in motion. Right wing, pass now right corner. 3 from Mason, no good. And Limestone will push it ahead now. It was Weibel looking for Driscoll. Now Driscoll goes right wing, and Brown. Brown up and under, no, under the basket, but he's fouled. And 2 free throws coming up for Dekwon Brown and Limestone.
Again, Joey, just back and forth, but as soon as Limestone gets the ball, it just seems like they really just can't get into their spots. They try and set up the side ball screen, but once more, they're just getting pressured to the point where they can't even motion over.
Brown's first free throw falls, and Limestone makes it an 18-point game. Time and score still on the bottom of your screen. Limestone now with 10 points from Brown. Peoria bringing in a sub. It's Eddie Clark returning for Mikewees Taylor. Taylor to the bench. Eddie Clark did not play most of the first half, most of the second quarter anyways, after picking up his third foul. Has not picked up a foul since. Leads all players on the floor for Peoria with 3 fouls. Second free throw does not fall from Brown, but a foul on the miss. That's on Eli Love, his first and the team's second.
Yeah, again, though, Joey, Limestone has to win this next minute 39 if they're going to try and have a fight to be had in the fourth quarter. So far, they're on track to do it, but they've got to string it together just a little bit more.
Brown gets the inbound pass right wing to Weibel on the left wing. Weibel's pass to Driscoll, no. Weibel got under the basket, nearly brought in the miss from Driscoll, but it's off his hand, or rather a deflection, I should say. Getting a little ahead of myself, but Weibel deflects it out of bounds, and the Lions will take over. And they will inbound, 84 feet to go to the basket. Lions moving left to right. Here's Allen. Allen, kick now, all the way to the corner, and Kelley. And Shaun Kelley's three no good. Brown there for Limestone, gets the rebound all the way at the wing. In trouble now, guarded by Clark as he crosses the timeline. And here's Brown, top of the key. Clark guards. Still top of the key, and Brown. Now Brown will go all the way to the corner, and Jacob Barrowman in the far corner doesn't have it. So he passes it up to Bell, and Bell gives it back to Barrowman on the wing. Now it's Driscoll. Driscoll, ball fake. Now it's Weibel. Weibel, no. So he comes in and gets fouled by Kelley on the wing there, so no might not have been the best way to describe that. Limestone will actually say yes as Kelley comes in and picks up his third foul, team's third as well. And they will inbound from the left wing. 18-point game in Peoria. Peoria got out in front of this one early, took a 15-3 lead to start it out, never looked back, looking for win number 4 on the year. And here's Dekwon Brown. Brown now over to Driscoll. Driscoll, top of the key, couple steps back behind the three-point line, shades off to the wing, gives to Barrowman. Barrowman, three from the left wing, knocks it in from deep. And it's a 15-point game on Barrowman's tray. Allen taking it ahead for Peoria. Dribbles guarded by Barrowman, now goes left wing, and Clark back top of the key, and Allen. Allen gets it back top of the key. Now gets it to the left wing, and Clark. They play catch. They include Daquan Little in on the game now. Little standing on the right wing. Back to Allen, top of the key. Now it's Little again. Eddie Clark comes up to the top of the key, replaces Allen, plays catch with Little. Little gets a three-pointer off as time expires. Doesn't fall. And that's how the third quarter draws to a close. 38-23 our score, and Cody, Peoria maybe let up a little bit there in the third quarter, but not much. The Lions still doing everything right. If Limestone has gotten anything going on offense, Peoria's been right there to respond.
Yeah, Peoria's done a great job, again, of getting out and running after they force a turnover or a miss, but in their half-court offense, they haven't been able to knock down the shots they did there in the second quarter. And on the other side for Limestone, they just finally started moving the ball a little bit more. They've got it rotating, and again, Brown's going to eventually, you'd hope if you're a Limestone Rocket fan, to find his way out of this little slump right now. Just going over his stats right now, he's 2 of 3 from the two-point range and 1 of 6 from 3. So overall, 3 of 9 efforts, so 33% from the field. Not terrible, not great, but he put in his almost double-digit turnovers alongside there with the rest of the Rockets. It's a recipe for a 15-point deficit, which is what they have.
Not where they want to be. Limestone entered this one 1-4 on the season. Peoria Lions 3-3. Lions coached by Daniel Ruffin Jr. He's in his second season. Talked a lot about him today. I want to go back to that as we break huddle for the fourth quarter. Peoria guy, played here at Peoria High School. Played his college ball at Bradley University, which is just a couple of miles away, and Limestone not very far away from Bradley's campus either. Often played at Bradley and is given back to the Bradley community. Coached the Always a Brave TBT team this summer. Kelley forces a turnover. Kelley nearly took it all the way. He's fouled for Peoria, and he'll shoot 2 at the line. Limestone squanders its first possession of the fourth quarter, and Kelley will try to clean them up here at the line. Would give him 12 points if he can make them both. Has 10 now. Kelley's first free throw. We'll see if it falls. It does. 11 points for number 11. Has led the Lions tonight. Leads all players on the floor in scoring and leads all players for the game in scoring. Second free throw from Kelley falls. Knocks them both down, and the Lions are roaring. Here's Brown for Limestone. No, lost it at the top of the key. Clark gets out and runs. Contested by Driscoll. Driscoll blocks it down low. Brown's there to recover for Limestone. Brown gets out and runs. Kick to the corner, and Barrowman a 3. Knocks it down for Limestone. Jacob Barrowman, near side corner, was open. He and Brown were the only. Peoria off that 3. Gives to Kelley, and Kelley to Clark. Clark goes back to Lerone Allen Jr. Allen Jr.'s at the top of the key. Play and catch now with Eddie Clark at the wing. Now they'll swing opposite wing. Quick layover with Dekwon Little, and they go to Kelley in the near side corner. Now they'll still swing around the perimeter here. They swing her all the way around the perimeter, get it to the opposite side corner. No dice. Limestone forces a steal. Frank Driscoll finds a streaking Jacob Barrowman, who's under the basket to lay it in. Peoria will call a timeout. It's a 12-point game just like that. Limestone heating up on defense and offense and making it happen.
And how about Barrowman? So far from the field, he's only missed 1 shot, 2 of 3 from 3, and 2 for 2 from the field. That gives him 10 on the game. And again, he was sidelined much with the 3 fouls in that first half. And again, this half-court defense from the Rockets is starting to not necessarily speed up the Lions, but they're making them throw it in tighter windows, and they're extending that zone out a little bit more. With the amount of length that they have on the wings, it's making it really hard on the Lions.
Barrowman lately dropping points like we're dropping frames here in Peoria tonight. Appreciate you sticking with us on ClutchSportsIL.com. Audio only right now due to some technical difficulties. Mentioned earlier, internet being very spotty all of a sudden. It was good for the first 2 quarters. Ran into some problems, though, around halftime. You go back and watch those last few minutes of the first half. Very choppy. Halftime especially is when we became just beleaguered with lag. So we made the decision to switch networks. And our backup source not quite receiving enough data here in the building at Peoria High School to continue streaming video. For context, right now we're dropping, looks like 70% of our frames, which is just not a tenable viewing experience. So audio only likely the rest of the way. Nobody's fault. Thanks to Peoria High School for having us this evening. Brian Dunphy does a terrific job, Peoria High School athletic director, as the Lions start this possession out of the timeout. It was called by Peoria. They've got it in the offensive end now. Shaun Kelley goes top of the key, and Bo Allen. Now Kelley on the wing. Kelley gets it back. And they'll shade it around. Kelley, deep wing now. Goes to the near side corner. Would be the right corner if you want to call it that. And Allen. Allen brings it up to the wing. Plays catch along the opposite wing with Eddie Clark. And now Allen will slow it down. He's standing at the Lion logo. Center court. On the wing now, Allen. Playing catch again with Clark. Now they'll group Shaun Kelley into the mix. To the free throw line, and Wells, who kicks back to Kelley for an open 3, didn't have it. Got nothing but glass. Rebound went to Clark. Clark finds now Brown, or not Brown rather, but rather Taylor. And Taylor finds Clark again. Lions will slow it down. 5:40 to play. So here's Clark. Clark at the logo.
Yeah, and they've almost completely shifted into that Stallion offense, Joey. Not necessarily them worried about surrendering the lead, but they have stalled out about a minute of game time here just on this possession.
Kelley gets off a shot, a little floater in the paint, didn't fall, and a foul on the rebound. Peoria hauled in the rebound. It's in Eddie Clark's hands right now. See who they called that foul on, and it will go against Brown. Dekwon Brown for Limestone's 3rd foul. 5th team foul against the Rockets. So the Lions will inbound here right under the basket. What would be the right side of your screen. And a quick three, they pop it out, and knocking down the three is Deshaun Wells. So just like that, the Lions get a big answer, push it back to 15 points. Here's Driscoll bringing ahead for Limestone. Driscoll's pass to the paint went to Bell. Bell, a quick strike, gets it over to Barrowman. Now Bell gets it back, top of the key, got open, loses it down low. Lions run it in transition. Kelley doesn't get his first shot to go, and that's all he'll get as Bell's there to haul in the rebound for Limestone. Kick to the corner, three on the way for Weibel, doesn't fall. Quick rebound, and in transition go the Lions. And getting up with one hand, a sweet kiss off the glass. Count that basket, an easy two for Mike Weiss-Taylor. Rockets don't take a break. Brown tries to push it. Brown goes up and under, doesn't get it, and the Lions run it on the rebound. Clark hauls it in, crosses the timeline, crosses down past the free throw line, and he traveled as he was driving to the basket. It'll be a turnover, but not before the Lions push their lead to 17.
Yeah, just out of control that time. Just a little bit of hand in the face action. Thought he got fouled. Refs called it the other way on the travel, and obviously that's the way we'll head.
4 minutes, 10 seconds left as Dekwon Brown and Limestone push it past the timeline. Now Brown goes left wing, spins, doesn't score as he loses it. Limestone in the right place at the right time was Barrowman. Got a deep two off from the wing. That's where he brought in the loose ball. All for naught. Here's Kelley at the Lion logo, deep top of the key, right near the timeline. Brings it straight towards us, near side, and a pop to the corner, pop to the wing and then to the corner, and Wells. Now the Lions will slow it down. They get it to Kelley, top of the key. He gets it along the wing to Allen, and the Lions in no hurry here. Just looking to go into that stallion offense. As you mentioned, Cody, playing along the perimeter, and a foul called there as Kelley holds the ball. We'll see who they call that on. That'll go against Cooper Weibel for Limestone. 6th foul on the Rockets, 3rd foul for, or rather the 2nd foul for Weibel, and a mass timeout, 3:27 to play.
Yeah, both teams again enjoy getting up and down. We thought the Rockets might have a push in them. Got a little bit of time left, 3:27 left, and down to 17 they have. I mean, not ideal, but the Rockets, you'd like to see the way they've getting up and down. And a couple of times they've had open players on the back cuts when Brown's been running the offense. He just hasn't been able to get the ball to him, whether it's been a turnover or just deciding not to pass it in general. You'd like to see what you've seen of late from the Rockets, but on the Lions end of things, it's been very consistent since the 2nd quarter.
They certainly have been, and the Rockets not finding themselves where they'd like to be right now. They'll likely fall here to 1-5. And the Lions on the path to 4-3 on this season. But maybe some takeaways here in the second half for Limestone. If you can find positives in a loss, a lot of folks will say no moral victories, but head coach Tony Thomason and his Limestone Rockets team will definitely have some things they've done right in the second half that they can apply to the rest of the season moving forward. An errant pass on an inbound play from Peoria. Limestone takes over. They lose it off a foot, but they're able to get it near side corner to Barrowman, and Jacob Barrowman doesn't have a three, but Dekwon Brown has an offensive rebound under the basket. Gets back to Barrowman. His 2nd attempt on a three, no good. He's been good from the perimeter, but not twice there. Still another offensive rebound for Limestone and Dekwon Brown. And Brown guarded right wing by Deshaun Wells. It's a senior guarding a sophomore in Brown. Brown to the top of the key. Kicks right behind him to Frank Driscoll. And Driscoll goes over to Barrowman, right wing. Now over to Clayton Bell, opposite wing. Splitting the middle of the paint now is Weibel. He's fouled and helped up, and that'll be a shooting foul assessed to Mike Weiss-Taylor, and 2 free throws coming up for Weibel, the junior guard, who has 3 points and 2 fouls tonight.
Yeah, and Joey, just thinking back on some of the action we've seen so far tonight, if it's not for that sluggish first quarter, first part of the second quarter, where they only tallied about 5 points on the board, this would be a team to this point for Limestone that would really be in this game, but to this point, obviously not the case.
Lions ahead by 16 points. 2nd free throw coming up for Weibel, his first Same fate as the second, doesn't fall, and a quick foul on the rebound. Peoria hauled that in, and Limestone picks up a foul. That was right under the basket as it played out. And it's the second foul for Frank Driscoll. And in the bonus, a 1-and-1 coming up for Peoria. 2:40 to play. Glad you're with us on ClutchSportsIL.com tonight. I'm Joey Wright with Cody Roskins, Gavin Russell, and Francisco Alonso, the rest of our crew. First free throw for Myquise Taylor falls. Boy, the job of game camera operator really got a lot easier for Francisco here in the second half as we've pivoted to audio-only coverage. Internet problems here at Peoria High School. Dekwon Brown bringing ahead. Brown slows it down. 2:30 to play. Rockets just looking to get out of this one here. Trailing by 18 points. Lions move it down to the corner and now bring it out, and just kind of holding the ball now is Eddie Clark. Clark brings it back to the Lion logo and plays catch with Shaun Kelley, or rather Shaun Kelley, as Kelly's going to go to the wing all the way down to the post himself. Doesn't have it off the rim. Rockets corral the board. And bringing ahead is Brown. Dekwon Brown goes high-low himself. Doesn't have the finger roll. Knocked down on the rebound is Clark. Clark touched it last, they will say. Frank Driscoll and him made contact. Clean play. And it results in Clark being the last one to touch it.
And I'm not so sure, Joey, that wasn't a foul. Referees have called a pretty close game here as of late, but they've let a lot of contact go underneath the basket.
Both teams keeping up that physical style of play. Minute 45 left, and good chance for both of these teams to scout things out here last 100 seconds. Mid-Illini Conference versus Big 12 Conference tonight. Barrowman has the ball in hand for Limestone. His pass looked like it was going to the wing. Instead, it's fielded in the mid-range by Logan Sprout. Sprout popped it back out to Clayton Bell, who missed a three. The Lions bring across with Allen. Allen contested by Weibel, and now a quick timeout will be called by, if I have that right, by Peoria. I thought I saw Daniel Ruffin call for a quick timeout, but I think I had that mistaken. And instead it will just be an inbound from right in front of the Lions bench. And no need to call a timeout with such little time left in an 18-point game, other than maybe to bring in some subs. Limestone will bring in 2 at this break. It's the first appearance for Joe Lamberti, a sophomore guard, and looked like Gino Holt came in as well. And it is Gino Holt in, a sophomore guard himself. So the Rockets going to the bench and getting some of its younger players, or some of their younger players, I should say, some experience. Here's Deatrick Pollard up top for Peoria. 47-29 as we cross under a minute left. Lions have the ball. And it's Nehemiah Wilson, top of the key. His kick to the wing, 3 on the way from JT Connor. Doesn't fall, knocked out of bounds by Frank Driscoll, and Limestone will maintain possession. Audio-only coverage, I suppose it's good time to remind you to tune in on Friday night on 101.1 ESPN Peoria. It's the Friday night showcase, if you will. Live basketball on ESPN Peoria. Matchup to be announced on our social media channels this week, but it's going to be a good showcase. A lot of good games to choose from on Friday. Let us know which game you'd like us to see. We might well make it happen. That'll be on Friday night. Peoria inbounds, and they get it back to Pollard. And we will have a couple of subs come in here for the Lions. Aiden Black is into the game. Black wearing number 1 for the Lions. He gets the inbound pass, plays catch with Wilson, or rather Mason, and got it back. Now Mason has it, 25 seconds left on the wing, far side wing, and it's over to JT Connor. Connor steps back, 18 seconds left at the top, tries to drive and loses it off his foot, rolls out of bounds under the basket, and the Rockets will take over, 15 seconds left in the ball game. Rockets looking to run just maybe one more play here, 14 seconds left. They push ahead. Lions leave the transition open, and the Lions watch as Limestone lays it in. 5 seconds left in the game now. Lions won't push the issue. 2-1 and ball game. Limestone cannot come into Peoria and pull it off. A huge win for the Lions. A dominant effort from wire to wire. 49-31 over Limestone tonight. Band plays, Lions celebrate. A great evening of basketball for Peoria High School. Cody Roskins, your final thoughts.
No, again, Joey, just another dominant performance from Peoria High. We had kind of touched on they really hadn't wowed anybody to this point in the season. I mean, they came out and put the pedal down, I guess, from start to finish after that couple minute span there in the first quarter, but a double-digit win at home, you'll never complain. And for the Rockets, they have just got to figure out what they need to do, I guess, to get the offense going a little bit more. 1-5 is not where they want to stand, but again, a quality opponent tonight in Peoria.
Both teams gave it all they could, as did our crew. And folks, again, a special thank you for sticking with us until the end here on ClutchSportsIL.com. An internet problem, a little bit of an outage there around the halftime portion of our contest. But we made it work, we made it happen. Hoped you enjoyed the second half as much you did the first, as Peoria knocks in a 49-31 win to improve to 4-3 on the season. And that'll do it for ClutchSportsIL.com's coverage of IHSA boys basketball tonight for our entire crew. Our producer, Gavin Russell, our camera operator, a little funny to say that after our second half, Francisco Alonso, helped the broadcast in other areas for sure. And my partner, Cody Roskins, I'm Joey Wright. That's the final from Peoria, 49-31. Thanks for tuning in to this presentation of Clutch Sports Media.